Welcome back in another video. In this video, we talk about body image and body insecurities. And I want to share a story with you of how I used to struggle with my body image, my body insecurities, and how it used to affect my life, but also how I managed to overcome this and create a new relationship with my body, which really transformed my whole life, my whole social life, and my confidence in myself. And this is something that a lot of people experience, especially in this age where social media is so present and so fixated on how we look, with all the filters and all the things that you can do to make yourself look prettier. It's almost like we don't realize that there is a blueprint, or there is like a narrative, or there is like a bar of what is good looking, what is not good looking, what you should look like, and if you don't, then blah blah blah. And also that makes a lot of people self-conscious. And actually there was a study in 2020 made for the UK Parliament of 7,700 people. And they just really wanted to see how people really feel about their body, how it's affecting them mentally, emotionally, and in their day-to-day life. And out of 7,700 people, 71%, and this goes from teenagers all the way to adult and senior citizen, 71% reported feeling somewhat negative toward their own body and their self-image. That is huge, 71%. And then they went further. They decided to focus on teenagers 14 and above. And they asked the same question, and 81% of those teenage girls reported feeling anxious, feeling self-conscious, and somewhat ashamed about their body image and the way they look. And if you just look at those numbers over so many people, you realize there's a pattern. And the pattern of how this can affect our life, our confidence, our self-worth, what we do, how we eat, how we treat ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, the decisions we make, what we think we're worth and not, is huge. And it can really completely change our way of life when we have a healthy body image versus when we have a not healthy, negative body image and all the inhibition and all the self-consciousness that comes with it. It's really paralyzing, and I know because I've been there. And for me, my biggest body insecurity was my height. When I was a teenager, I started growing super tall, taller, faster than everybody else, and I reached 1.96 m. That's my height today. And that's 6'5" if you don't understand centimeters. But for me, I started to get a lot of attention. I started getting a lot of people asking me, why are you so tall? Or you're so tall? Or, what do you eat? Or, I'm getting all those comments that were not necessarily coming from a bad place, or the little jokes that were not necessarily coming from a bad place either, but that I took as being negative because of all that attention that I was getting and that being different. Because as a teenager, really what we want is to fit in. Really what we want is to be like everybody else. That's one of the deepest needs that we have as teenagers. And when we're not, we can easily start to feel self-conscious and start to look at ourselves as in there's something wrong with me. And that's a little bit how I used to see myself. And so the implications were big because my confidence, my self-worth, my self-esteem, my social interaction, it created shyness, low confidence, a lot of insecurities, a very inhibited personality where I wasn't expressing really myself. I was hiding. Ironically, I was avoiding being seen. Because I'm too tall, I was avoiding being seen, avoiding being the center of attention. And so you can imagine the huge implication that this had in my life. Personally, how I felt about myself, therefore the quality of my life, my confidence, what I felt I could do, but also my social life, relationship, friends, and so on. So those years were really, really tough for me. And it dragged on all the way into my early 20s until about 24, when I started to learn about NLP, mindset, personal development, Tony Robbins, and all those kind of self-empowerment, which was starting to really change my life back then. And so one day I was in one of those trainings, and there was one of those tall trainers who was sharing his own personal story, his own personal belief about how he used to think he was too tall and how he used to think he was bad. And that's when I realized the first thing. It's a belief. You know, because it's very strange, because when you see yourself and you're so identified with it, you think this is who I am. So you never really challenge that narrative, those thoughts and those beliefs that you created around your body image. But that day I started to realize, well, it's just a belief. I am prisoner to my own belief, and I could decide that being tall is bad or good. It's really all there is, right? So I had to change that belief. I had to change that identification. And so that seminar was an eye-opener. And so I went home and I made a promise to myself, so to speak. I decided that I was done seeing myself that way, that if I continue seeing myself this way, it is only going to lead to more stress, more suffering, more pain, and not what I want, which was to really truly express myself, be confident. So I decided to do the following thing. I noticed that every time somebody would tell me you're so tall, or why you're so tall, or ask me how tall I am, I will feel vulnerable. I will feel shy. I will feel embarrassed almost. And I would just, get weird, avoid the question, and really hope that nobody asks. And unfortunately, the more you try to avoid something, the more it seems people are asking you. And so I decided to tackle the root cause of this, which was that. And every time somebody asked me, I would say, thank you. And at first, I'll be honest with you, it was weird, it was fake, it was different, I didn't like it, it was even more uncomfortable. But over time, I started to change the way I was seeing myself. I started to change this, and I started to see it as a gift. I started to see, for the first time in my life, my height as a gift, as a compliment, every time somebody was telling me this. And it started to change everything. I started to be taller. Strange, I started to carry myself differently. Started to talk differently. I started to express myself differently. I started to make jokes. I started to feel better in my own skin, less inhibition, which, as you can imagine, started to change everything in my life, because simply the way I was relating to myself, I started to love myself in a new way, so to speak. And it's the most freeing thing you can do when you start to invest in yourself with love and with a gift, and see yourself through a new lens. Because we are a gift, and every single one of us is unique. And we are perfect the way we are. And when you reach that space and you condition your mind to really start to see yourself differently, it changes everything. But we have to realize that those perceptions that we have, those things that we don't like about ourselves, are nothing more than perception and beliefs. They're not the truth. They're not the truth of who we really are. And when you truly grasp that, it's the first step to open up and release a little bit of the resistance toward this, and find yourself in a position where you can actually look at yourself like you've never looked at yourself before, and answer the question of, well, how would I see myself through the eyes of somebody who loves me? And that is such a powerful question. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you got some nice takeaway. I hope it helps you in your own journey toward creating an empowered body image, because you deserve it. And if you need more help, more support, check out the channel. There's a lot of resources that can help you build your confidence, crush your insecurity, and become the true best version of yourself. I will see you in my next video. Please, guys, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Be well.